Today's movie recommendation, a sci-fi disaster film. The film begins in the year 2049 at an Arctic observatory, where an elderly scientist, known as Whitebeard, sits alone eating breakfast. Flashback to 3 weeks earlier, a global catastrophe has nearly wiped out humanity. The Earth's surface is now contaminated with radiation, which is gradually spreading worldwide. Whitebeard refuses to evacuate with the others because he has a terminal illness and little time left to live. He is warned that without regular blood transfusions, he might not survive the week. Meanwhile, a woman is desperately searching for her daughter. Her friend tells her that the girl has already left on a helicopter. Everyone else has evacuated. Back at the observatory, Whitebeard spends his final days alone, watching as the radiation slowly creeps toward his fortress. He continues writing, taking his medication, and gazing at the night sky. Another flashback, Whitebeard's lecture on K23. A younger Whitebeard gives a lecture about K23, an unknown moon near Jupiter, claiming that its environment is suitable for human life. After the lecture, a beautiful young woman approaches him. Their conversation turns into a romantic encounter, leading to a second date. She then asks him, "How much of your research on K23 is real, and how much is fabricated?" Whitebeard is visibly stunned by the question. Back to the present, Whitebeard checks space mission logs and finds that all missions have gone offline, except for the Ether mission, a manned spacecraft returning from K23. He hopes to establish contact with them, but communication will only be possible in 11 hours. Whitebeard seems particularly interested in one of the crew members, Sully, aboard the Ether. Sully wakes up and speaks with her crewmates, Adewole and Zhang Zhenshua. They have been out of contact with Earth for 3 weeks. Despite troubleshooting every system and attempting to connect with all global receivers, they cannot establish communication. Sully also notes that a colony ship bound for K23 should have left Earth a week ago, yet they have received no updates. A mysterious presence. Back on Earth, Whitebeard prepares dinner. As he turns around, he notices a half-eaten bowl of food on the table. Puzzled, he looks around suspiciously but eventually convinces himself that he simply forgot to clean up. Later, a fire alarm suddenly goes off. Rushing to the kitchen, he discovers a fire, which he quickly extinguishes. Exhausted, he slumps to the ground only to realize that a young girl has been hiding nearby the entire time. Shocked, Whitebeard grabs his radio, desperately trying to call the spaceship for help, but no one responds. To keep the girl calm, he makes her dinner and asks about her family. She doesn't speak but draws an iris flower, revealing her name Iris. Ether finally enters communication range. As soon as the spacecraft is within range, Whitebeard rushes to contact them, but he still fails to establish a connection. He tells Iris that K23 was meant to be humanity's next home, but due to the disaster, they never managed to send the colony mission in time. Now, he must warn the crew before they attempt to land. Upon inspecting the observatory's antenna, he discovers that the signal cannot reach Ether. On the Ether, the crew records flight logs, trying to understand why every communication station on Earth has shut down. They suspect that the problem lies with their own ship. However, their research confirms that K23 is indeed habitable for humans. A desperate journey, with time running out. Whitebeard learns that the radiation is spreading faster than expected. He finds a weather station further north with a stronger antenna, which might allow him to reach the spaceship. However, getting there is nearly impossible, but it's his only chance to help Iris. Packing his typewriter and essentials, he suits up both himself and Iris for the treacherous journey. Memories of the past. Meanwhile, aboard the Ether, crew member Maya uses holographic technology to relive memories. Zhang Zhenshua joins her, and they happily reminisce. Elsewhere, Sully and Adewole play cards, but their moment is interrupted by an emergency alert. The ship's navigation system has failed. The spacecraft is off course, forcing the crew to chart a new path back to Earth. However, the only available route takes them through an uncharted region of space, with no way to contact Earth. Adewole insists they have no choice but to proceed. Earth, a grim discovery. Whitebeard and Iris come across a wrecked plane. Inside the debris, Whitebeard finds a survivor begging for help, but realizing the man's fate is sealed, Whitebeard ends his suffering. The journey continues. A father's regret. In another flashback, Whitebeard and his girlfriend, Xiaomei, now have a daughter. Whitebeard asks if the girl knows who her father is. Xiaomei tells him, "If you want her to call you dad, you need to tell her yourself." Whitebeard remains silent. Xiaomei walks away. Ether's tragic loss. On the spaceship, Sully is pregnant with Adewole's child. Their happiness is short-lived when disaster strikes.